Welcome to a twist-free demonstration of the installation and coiling of a brand new extension cord. So first we're going to unroll the extension cord, because when you get a new cord, it's taken on the shape of the loops at the factory. And unless you unroll it like it were on a reel, you'll get knots for every loop. So we just remove the packaging. Find an end. Now you can see the ends. One end is here, one end is here. So you just pick an end and you just unroll it like this. Now unless you do this, you're going to get twists, and this is the only way to get rid of the twists. So when the cord comes from the factory, it has about 30 loops. So you want to get rid of all the twists. That's 30 twists. And if you don't do this, then your cord won't be stored twist free. There. So we've unrolled all the twists, and you just pull it, let it sit in the sun for about half an hour to warm up, and you'll be able to get rid of all the kinks that were introduced at the factory. So now that we've left it in the sun, we're going to coil it up properly so that we can store it twist free. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. You just keep going. Try to keep the loops in the same order in which they were created from one side to the other. That way you'll avoid slip knots. Keep the ends at the original sides. That way you'll avoid overhand knots. Okay, now that we've got it coiled, we'll go over to the table and we'll install a Roadee. Now we're going to show you how to install a Roadee organizer. Now today we have the green Roadee. It's the medium size, and it's good for 16 or 14 gauge extension cords from 25 to 100 feet in length. So it comes with two sets of collars, one for 16 gauge, one for 14 gauge, and it's all color coded. So we remove the twist ties, cable ties that hold it on to the package. Remove it, elastic band. Collars. So here we have the 16 collars, and here we have the 14 collars. Now we can just save, we don't need these for this cord because this is a 16 gauge extension cord, so we can save these for another cord. And it uses the same snap-on clip, so it's good to go on another cord, and you can just save those. So we'll put this aside for a sec. And so these are marked with a 16, that shows you that it's a 16 gauge. There's embossing on it, and you get two of them. It's the same item with alignment pins on one side and latches on the other side. So they just go together like this. You just line them up. Line up the alignment pins and then press together, and it'll just snap on. So on the card, on the back of the card, we have a gauge that shows you where to place it. So you just put your cord against the gauge, and about 6 inches is good for this. About 6 inches away from the plug end, so anywhere about here. And then to check that you have the right cord, and you can do this at the store when you, if you want to check and make sure, there's a gauge check notches at the bottom of the card. There's a 14 gauge and a 16 gauge. So you just see if it fits. Now that one's a little bit loose, and this one fits just right. So we know we have a 16 gauge cord, so we use the 16 collars for this particular cord. Okay, so we just line this up again. You know, it doesn't have to be exactly 6 inches. It's just, you want it away from the end a little bit. You don't want it right at the end. Because then it, you know, when you make the loops, the end kind of hangs down and it makes it kind of nice. So you put one on there and line up the pins. Like so. Make sure the pins are going through the holes, and you just press it together like that. And there's 4 latches on each side that lock it into place. Now these are meant to be permanent, so it is possible to remove them, but if you remove them too many times, it'll just break and then you'll have to get a new one. And there's supposed to be a gap there. That little gap in there is supposed to be there. That ensures that the latches are fully engaged. Just press that together. And then all you have to do is snap it on, like so. There you go, now you're ready to go. So this stays with the cord, and this is one of the main key features, is that it stays with the cord, and that way it won't get lost. Now we all have items that we buy and we think this is pretty cool, and then within a short period of time we've misplaced it, we've lost it. Where's that thing? I need it now. And this way it stays with the cord, you won't lose it. But if it gets in the way, if it becomes like a nuisance for a particular, you want to feed it through a hole or something, you can remove it. Just snap it on, snaps on, snaps off, and it's not going to fall off. It's on there really secure. So now all we're going to do is we're going to coil it up and show you how this thing works. Okay, now we're actually going to coil a cord using the Roadee that we just installed. And you can either do it with the plug away from you, or you can do it with the plug towards you. I usually do it with the plug towards me, but I'll show you how to do it this way. So you start with the plug away from you and grab a piece of cord about 3 or 4 feet long, and you roll it towards you like this so that it makes a loop, like so. So you got your first loop. So that's the over loop. And now you want to make the under loop. So you go like this, have your thumbs apart, and you rotate your thumbs towards you. So thumbs together. So you start like this, thumbs together, and there's your under loop. Try to make them about the same size. Another piece of cord, roll it towards you for the over loop, and then have thumbs apart, thumbs together, transfer the cord to the other hand, and there's your under loop. Again, roll it towards you for the over loop, and then put your thumbs on the outside, thumbs together, there's your under loop. So we just carry on, roll it towards you for the over loop, and then thumbs apart, thumbs together for the under loop. Over loop, thumbs together, under loop. Over, under, roll it, over, thumbs together, under. It helps if you can assist in the rolling. If you help it twist itself, then it'll twist in the right direction. So you twist it towards you for the over loop, thumbs apart, thumbs together, under loop, carry on, over loop, under loop, over loop, under loop. Okay, you get to the end. Now you want to keep this end separate for a second as you install it, because the whole idea is that you want to keep this end on this side of the coil and this end on this side of the coil, because otherwise you get a bunch of knots. So you want to keep this separate. It's your Roadee. The bar goes underneath. Then you can attach this now. You can put the other end onto the hook where it's supposed to go. And then you just insert the strap, press it down so it's good and tight, and now it's installed. And the other important thing to remember is as you're coiling, if you can keep the loops in this correct order in which you created them from one side to the other, then you won't get any slip knots. And if you make sure that this end stays over here, this end stays over here, it's impossible to get any overhand knots. So this cord is now stored in a knot-free and a twist-free state, so that all you have to do when you want to deploy it, you just remove the hook, and underneath you release the strap by pulling back on the levers, pull the strap out, disengage the Roadee device, and then what you want to do is you want to lay it down on the plug-in side. So you just drop it like that. Now, the loose end that you have in your hand is on the top, and the other end is on the bottom. All the loops are in the right order. Now I'll just walk away, and we'll show you that this is in a twist and a knot free state, and it can stay this way forever.